Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel for my Sheffield United versus Chelsea match preview. This game is massive in Chelsea's race for the top four. Sheffield United, I said at the start of the season that they would finish bottom of the Premier League table, and I was wrong. Sheffield United have been absolutely magnificent. We've seen like this little bromance building between Chris Wilder and Frank Lampard in the pre-match build-up, where they're both praising one another for the jobs that they have done this season. Sheffield United, nobody would have thought that with 4 matches left in the Premier League season, they would still have an outside chance of finishing in a Champions League place. I think they'd have bitten your hand off to be in this position at the start of the season. It is their final chance to try and put a nail in the other team's bids for the top 4. Chelsea are currently sat in 3rd place, and I think Sheffield United know that it was always an outside possibility when football returned. They had a couple of heavy defeats. They lost their first 2 matches 3-0. They beat Spurs, there was a draw in the middle, and then they won again in their last match against Wolves, which put a serious dent in Wolves' Champions League hopes. Sheffield United know that regardless of whether they lose the next 4 matches 5-0, it's been a very successful season for them in the Premier League. Their status as a Premier League club is secured, and we move into this game knowing that it's going to be a very, very difficult task. Chelsea, I've got some injury worries. The update is N'Golo Kante. It's looking likely that Kante will miss the rest of the season, which isn't good because, well, it's N'Golo Kante, speaks for himself. Billy Gilmour is also going to be out for 3 to 4 months, and I want to spend a bit of time before we build the Chelsea starting 11 today talking about the influence that Billy Gilmour has had this season. At the beginning of the season, when Frank Lampard decided that Billy Gilmour should stay and be part of the first team, I was thinking like, is this going to be one of those where we see a player who is so young, with so much ability, with so much potential, he's not going to get any, if many, minutes, and he's just going to be sat there like when he could have been playing maybe top flight football for another Premier League club on loan. What we've seen from Billy is that being around the likes of Jorginho, Kante, he's having the backing of people like Cesc Fabregas on social media, being underneath Frank Lampard's management, the greatest midfielder who's ever played in the Premier League. You can leave your arguments about that one in the comments if you really care about arguing with me. Being under Super Frank's guidance and being around that first team not only shows the confidence in this young man's future that Chelsea Football Club and Frank and his staff believe Billy Gilmour's going to be a huge player for this club for the near future and for the long-term future as well. But not only that, when Billy Gilmour's actually played, he's been exceptional. And I think that a lot of people disagreed with the way that I saw Billy's performance in that game against Crystal Palace. I wasn't trying to say that he didn't give the ball away, because he did give the ball away a few times. But what Billy Gilmour does, and you can see the maturity in the way that he sees the match being played, the way that Billy's not looking to always make those intricate through balls, because sometimes a player needs to be in control of possession to be able to maintain and retain possession for the team so that we can move forward as more of a cohesive unit. The way that I see Billy Gilmour play is that the passes he makes are always with the best intentions to move Chelsea forward. Even if it's going backwards, even if it's going sideways, Billy Gilmour, the way that he sees the game, you can see him, he's always scanning, looking for the space, looking for the move. And I think the way that he's developed physically this season is also testament to the way that he's been training. Frank always talks about how hard Billy Gilmour trains in training, and I think we're seeing the fruits of that. I think he looks a lot more physical. He looks as though he's not going to get muscled off the ball so much. So this injury for Billy, I wanted to spend a bit of time giving him credit for what has been a huge breakthrough season for him. We've not seen him play thousands of minutes, but we've seen him play enough to know that Chelsea have got a midfield maestro for the future. Billy Esther, big shout out to him. The other news from Frank Lampard's press conference, and the reason that I do these videos now at 7 AM the day of the match, is because not only does it mean that you guys can get excited for the game on match day, but it also means that I can actually watch Frank Lampard's press conference. And last week, I don't know how I missed it, but I seem to miss the fact that Kovacic wasn't going to be available. He is available for this game, which is big, with Billy Esther being out and N'Golo Kante being out as well. The question is, will Mateo Kovacic start? Is he, he's fit enough to be in the squad, but is he really ready to start this match? We saw Jorginho come on in that game against Crystal Palace, and I think that we might see Jorginho play, but first things first, let's build the team from the back. And there's not really any surprises. After the last couple of games, we've gone with the same back five with Kepa in goal, Reece James on the right with Zouma, Christensen, and Azpilicueta. I'm not entirely sure, and I think that most of the journalists bypassed it. Tomori, is he even fit? Like, we don't know if Fikayo Tomori is actually ready to get back into this Chelsea starting 11. I think Christensen didn't really cover himself in glory. Kurt Zouma, the tackle, I mean, like, it is just the stuff of dreams. Kurt Zouma is Chelsea's best centre-back at the club right now. I did say it was Christensen, but I think that the way Zouma performed in that game against Palace, it kind of reminded me it's okay to change your mind and opinions in football based off of form, which some people say I'm not allowed to do. If I say Christensen's the best, then I say Zuma's the best. George is an idiot, but that's just not really the way it works here. And I think Zuma's physicality is much more suited to this Chelsea team, particularly against a side like Sheffield United. So Christensen's in there, but I would like to have seen Tomori. Maybe it'll be Rudiger again, but I think Frank will keep it the same. So we move in to that player who will play most likely in front of the defence, and I have gone with Jorginho based off of the merit of his performance last time out when he came on against Crystal Palace, the way he changed the game. Frank has said that he doesn't want to address whether or not Jorginho will be a Chelsea player next season. I will talk about it here on the George Benson Football Channel in an upcoming video once the game is done against Sheffield United. Obviously, like, things are coming through thick and fast right now when it comes to Chelsea playing matches. A lot of people are saying, like, do your predicted lineup for next season. It's hard to do it because at the moment we're being linked with all bloody sundry. So I don't know. Jorginho might be there, he might not be there, but the one thing we do know about Jorginho is, despite his agent always flirting with moves away, I'm pretty sure Jorginho loves the football club, and I think that if he is called upon, he will be giving absolutely everything for the Chelsea shirt, and I think for this game, he will be. And we move forward because of Kovacic. He's in the squad, he's ready, but is he really ready? Like, I'm not sure. So for this game, I've gone with Mason Mount and Ruben Loftus Cheek playing in the midfield three. We're going to need Ruben's physicality. We obviously know that Mason Mount is one of the most important players in this Frank Lampard system, and he's been one of the best players upon football's return in this Chelsea team. Ruben and Mason, I think that they'll both play in this side. I think the likelihood is we could see one of them miss out for either Barkley or Kovacic, but I've decided to go out on a limb and say that I think this midfield three could be enough for Chelsea to get the 3 points against Sheffield United. They're a very good side. They're sat in 7th in the table. As I said at the beginning of the video, they've still got a lot to play for. Probably Europa League is what they're looking to cement for sure, because Man City, I just knew. The announcement's going to be made on Monday as to whether or not their appeal is successful. I think we should all just go with the fact that it probably will be successful because, well, I don't want to say it, but they're just very rich, you know? So it's just the way that the world turns sometimes when you got that much money. So, you know, City, it's the top 4 that teams are looking for Champions League. Sheffield United know that it was always a pipe dream upon the return, and their early form is probably why Europa League is the best they can get right now. But it's not just looking forward to the end of the season and the European places. Sheffield United are a very difficult side to beat. Not only that, but they're also a team who we saw against Spurs. They went forward and scored 3. It's not like when they do win every game, it's always by a 1-0 scoreline. They often do win by 1 goal, but Sheffield United are a very well organised side. They have the overlapping centre-backs, they like to get forward in numbers, and they also defend as a unit, and the way that they shift up and down the pitch is often very fluid. And we know that Chelsea will have to be at our very best to get a result here. But it's a game that we must win. We've got Liverpool away to come as well, who, despite being champions, they're chasing down 100 points. And I'm sure they would love to do it against Chelsea on the second to last game of the season, although, yes, they could. They could definitely hit it on that game. We move forward into the front 3. Christian Pulisic is the best player on this team right now. He picks himself. Willian is also in the form of his career. And whether or not he signs a new deal, it's a topic for another day. I think we'll find out very soon if Willian will be a Chelsea player next season. And I've got a video that I'm probably going to release tomorrow to discuss my thoughts on Chelsea being linked with Benrahma. There's a couple of other young players that we've been linked with as well. How does that fit in with Willian? We know that Pedro's leaving. Willian is in the form of his career, and whether you want him to be a Chelsea player next season or not, we've got to remember that there's still football to be played. There's still the top 4 to be achieved. We want 3rd place, and Willian, he just keeps on scoring, he keeps on assisting, and his energy is going to be key in this one. And as for the striker, I've gone with Olivier Giroud. He scored the first goal in the game against Palace. A lot of people have said that when Tammy came on, he got his goal, and that was big to boost his confidence, to really cement himself back in as Chelsea's main striker. But the way that Olivier Giroud's played, the way that Chelsea is setting up right now, I think that Giroud's attributes actually complement Chelsea a lot more for the setup we've currently got. So Olivier Giroud starts up front. I expect Tammy to come off the bench again. If things aren't going well, or if Chelsea are controlling the game, Tammy Abraham will keep bringing him in to bleed in his confidence again. And I still think he'll start at least 1 or 2 of the remaining 4 matches this season for Chelsea. Olivier Giroud signed a new deal. That is good news. The man's in good goal scoring form as well. But he starts. This is my Chelsea starting 11. Leave your thoughts on it in the comments down below. This team is good enough to beat Sheffield United. We know that they're a very good side. We know that they've had an incredible season, and they did come from 2 goals down to get a draw at Stamford Bridge earlier this season. Chelsea won't be as complacent as we were that day. And I think the team that I've got on the screen now has got more than enough to win the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe to GBFC so that you never miss an upload here. 6 things we learned will be out after the game. I will catch you guys there. Enjoy it. Come on, you Blues.